Welcome everybody to the first BSCNews Security Summit. This event is going to be filled with a heavyweight lineup of BSC protocols that are looking to promote and further security. For those who are unaware of the heavyweight lineup we have from Binance Smart Chain, it's going to consist of these projects: the Binance Smart Chain community, Immunefi, SafePal, Hacken, PancakeBunny, and Wallet. Each speaker has selected a security topic that is a primary focus of their project. The goal of this security summit is to shed light on some of the most important security measures going on and to educate all DeFi users, whether beginner or experienced. This platform is popularizing the use of bug bounties in DeFi and incentivizing community members to become white hats. The project I'm referring to is Immunefi, and they conduct the largest bug bounties across DeFi. There are currently over 100 bug bounties with over $25 million in rewards. And in essence, Immunefi is incentivizing black hats to report directly to projects and fix mistakes while still earning rewards without the inclusion of crime. But enough of my chatter. Today we have Duncan Townsend, the Chief Security Officer from Immunefi, and he will touch on the expansive bug bounty Immunefi has formulated on Binance Smart Chain. How's it going, Duncan?
It's going great, thanks.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you on. You could go ahead and jump on with your screen and then dive into your presentation. Excited to see what you guys got.
Yeah, so Immunefi is a bug bounty platform securing the largest projects across DeFi. We are essentially your last bastion of defense against the black hat hacker. By listing a bug bounty program with Immunefi, BSC projects are telling their communities, here's the value of your security, and we're backing it with our own money, right? When if a bug comes in that could result in loss of funds, right? It's the economic incentives of that bug bounty that makes the hacker decide, you know what? It's actually worth it to me to report this to the project than it is to exploit it, because that's clean money, because, there's no laundering, the police aren't going to come after you. It turns black hats white, and it saves projects money. Or rather, I should say, it saves the users their money. And so, when you're looking for what makes a project legitimate, having a bug bounty program with Immunefi is one of the big indicators that a project takes security seriously. A couple presentations ago, we were talking about holistic operational security, and that's also a thing that's really important because there's this intense trade-off between the agility of a project to be able to respond to a security threat and the ability of that project to rug pull, right? The more agile a project has, the more centralized it is, the easier it is for it to respond, but also the more you have to trust that project not to pull the rug. Let's talk about Immunefi's progress towards bringing bug bounties to DeFi. Bug bounties, of course, are a big thing in centralized security, but to make them work for DeFi requires a bit of change here. There's a famous quote, which I apologize, I can't remember the originator of, but every cryptocurrency project is just a bug bounty in disguise, right? Because if you can hack that project, you can take their money. And by having that be an informal bug bounty, and you're exposing your users to the risk that hackers are going to take their money. When you post a formal bug bounty, right, that's a negotiation between the project and a hacker, be they a black hat or a white hat. So a year ago, there were no bug bounty programs on BSC. Nobody knew how to run a bug bounty program that made sense for DeFi. You have lots of money at risk, and you have an interesting set of priorities for DeFi projects. Projects don't necessarily care about things like, leaking PII like you do in the centralized security world, because there is no PII, right? Everyone is anonymous. You also don't know how to track the right kind of talent, right? Talent in DeFi for security or development or anything like that is incredibly expensive. And so you have to tilt those tables to make it make sense for those really high-skilled hackers, be they black hats or white hats, to take a look at your projects. And then, pricing the vulnerabilities is a hard thing as well. You're not sure whether the vulnerability that you're bringing to the table, has real impact. And if it does have real impact, what percentage of that vulnerability makes sense to pay out. So Immunefi has standardized on 10% of the total value at risk. That's really the number where black hats start to perk up and pay attention. Of course, you go above that, you get more black hats, you get more surety that you're not going to get hacked, but it becomes more expensive. And then, lastly, what's the equivalent of CVE for DeFi, right? You have the SWC registry, but that's slow to update, and you're getting these radically changing attack patterns that you have to be constantly on top of. And a project doesn't necessarily have that the bandwidth to keep track of all of that. And that's where Immunefi comes in. We in-house a lot of that security expertise, provide it on a consulting basis, look at those reports, prioritize the ones that are actually important. As far as our partnership with BSC, as you can see from my slide, we're bringing bug bounties to BSC. We're onboarding BSC projects. We're making sure they're secure. And we've proven that the scaling bug bounty standard works. In PancakeSwap, we disclosed and PancakeSwap fixed no fewer than 3 critical vulnerabilities, including one that total funds at risk were over $1 million. These are the ways that Immunefi is keeping BSC safe.
And just to jump in here, what kind of is the idea behind the scaling bug bounty standard?
So the idea is, if you show me that you can steal $10 million, rather than you stealing that $10 million, I'm going to give you $1 million free and clear. And then Perfect. I'm going to fix the bug.
Yeah. And so that's kind of that 10% number you were mentioning, where the other 90% that the black hat could get is not worth going through all the kind of criminal troubles, is what this standard is kind of finding.
Exactly. And, we have real proof of that. Unfortunately, I can't give you the details, but I know for certain that a lot of the hackers who look for bugs on Immunefi, their main job is black hat hacking. It's just that the bounties that are offered by BSC projects through Immunefi are so large, it makes sense to them. And you can take a look at the recent Thorchain hack. The Thorchain hacker released a public statement that if Thorchain had offered him a 10% bug bounty, he would not have hacked them.
Yeah, that's incredible. It's amazing that you guys are kind of setting up this infrastructure and finding out these things, how to efficiently get proactive sort of audits going on.
And it really is, to some extent, an ongoing audit, right? Immunefi is not a replacement for audits. You want to make sure that you've audited your code before you list a bug bounty program. But after you've done that audit, after you've gone on mainnet, Immunefi is your last bastion of defense against getting hacked.
Makes sense.
So let's talk a little bit about the Priority 1 program. So because BSC is committed to security and keeping all of the dApps on BSC secure, BSC has launched in conjunction with Immunefi the Priority 1 bug bounty matching program. So for large projects on BSC that are listing bug bounties that have met certain other security criteria, there is this bug bounty matching program where BSC is providing some of the funds to keep that project secure. And that really demonstrates the seriousness with which the BSC is taking security and making sure that the projects on BSC have best-in-class security.
Definitely.
And you can see the details here. The expectation is that we're going to, using these BNB matching funds, keep projects secure to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars.
Perfect. And this event is like close to 10 million, correct? In how much is being deployed? 30,000 BNB, if I'm doing my math correct there.
Mental math is not my strong suit, but yes, I think you're right.
Yeah, I wasn't even doing the math. I think that's just a number I've seen before in one of our articles.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So
go ahead.
Sorry, please continue.
Oh, no, go ahead. I didn't have much. Just let me know once you're kind of wrapping up, and then we can jump into some discussion. So I'll let you close this out.
Yeah, so I think I have only one more slide here.
Perfect.
So the point here is that the bug bounty process is integral to DeFi, right? like I said, every crypto project is a bug bounty in disguise. We need to make that, rather than being in disguise, it needs to be a real bug bounty program to keep those user funds secure. And Immunefi is coming up with financial products to make that make sense for projects. Please stay tuned. We'll have big announcements in the future. The BSC Priority 1 Bug Bounty Matching Program is absolutely the future of bug bounties in DeFi, keeping things secure, making sure that when bugs are found, they don't get exploited, they get fixed. And then, of course, the financial incentives there are giving white hats the impetus, the incentive to upskill, to outpace those black hats, to make sure that the good guys are better than the bad guys, and they keep those projects secure. The bugs get found and fixed before they can get exploited.
Definitely. And it really seems like Immunefi has stepped up and filled this void on Binance Smart Chain. There's not too many other firms doing bug bounties to this size, no?
No, making bug bounties work for DeFi is Immunefi's area of expertise, and it's something that we've developed a deep expertise on, that our competitors are struggling to match.
Definitely. How did you guys sort of get projects to not really buy in, because it's a security function, but how did you get them to jump on board with this idea? I imagine once the results started kind of coming in, that it was a little bit easier.
Yeah, so the thing with bug bounties is they make total financial sense for the project and for the hacker, right? There's no upfront cost to the project to launching a bug bounty program. With Immunefi, we work strictly on a commission basis. We don't take a upfront cost. We create and manage your bug bounty program only for the value that we deliver in preventing hacks. So that really eases the onboarding process. It makes it a really easy value proposition for the project. And then, of course, on the other side for the hacker, it makes sense because you're getting a cut of whatever it is that you save.
That makes a ton of sense. And so obviously you mentioned that Immunefi wasn't the first to kind of think about this bug bounty idea. This has been a thing for a long time in centralized solutions. Do bug bounties get as large as they're getting on Immunefi outside of the space, or are you guys beginning to break away and have something truly unique here?
We have the biggest bug bounties anywhere. Because the amount of money in DeFi is the biggest, and the DeFi community takes security way more seriously than centralized finance. There was a really excellent bug report that I read recently about using HTTP smuggling to steal PII from Verizon, one of the largest telecom companies in the United States, and the hacker was paid less than $20,000.
Yeah,
that's me, right? On Immunefi, you're looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars for that bug report, because that's how much security matters in DeFi. Yeah,
that's massive. And just to pick out a more specific example, directly here on the Binance Smart Chain, you mentioned the bug bounty for PancakeSwap found some critical bugs. What was sort of the process behind this? How did the report process come, and how long did it take to sort of patch this and get everything squared away?
It's really variable. For simple bugs, they can get fixed in a matter of minutes to hours. I think the fastest bug we ever saw went, I believe, 16 minutes from report to fix to paid. But that's really fast.
That's amazing. Yeah.
What's more typical is we see something on the order of a week or more, right? A lot of the problem is the decentralization itself is a barrier towards quickly fixing these bugs, right? If there's a bug in a protocol and the protocol is not upgradable, you have a problem of how do I get the funds out of the protocol into the fixed version of the protocol before black hats notice, right? Because black hats do run generalized front-running bots, and they'll run your hack before you can do it. If you've read the famous "Ethereum is a Dark Forest" paper by Sam Sun.
I have not, but I definitely need to jump into a lot of these more topics, because it's one of the biggest concepts in DeFi now, like with all the security breaches, and it's not going to go away. It's just it's perpetual. People are going to keep kind of writing better contracts. And it's going to take some time till we get to the point where you can 100% trust contracts. So I appreciate this insight. And I want to jump a little bit more into the specific priority one bounty, if you're familiar with it. To my understanding, there's a few stages to the event. Can you potentially outline how these or how just the event will work out?
I apologize. I am the wrong person to ask about that. I'm on the technical side of the org. If you want to ask me about what bugs we're looking at, I'm your guy. Unfortunately, on the business side, that would be a question for one of my colleagues.
Yeah.
If you have that information, please hit me with it.
Perfect. I do not have the information. I know it's somewhere on our website in an article. We've covered it. So we can just glaze over that one. That information is readily available. You can find it on BSC News or even just directly on the Binance Smart Chain. How do you guys, I mean, we kind of touched on this one a little bit as well, but was it hard in the beginning to find how much you guys needed to incentivize black hats to turn them into white hats? How was this sort of process in 10% come up? Was it arbitrary, or was there some sort of studies in the past? And obviously now it's sort of just seemed like you guys have the concrete proof behind it.
It's a lot of listening. You know, we are really well plugged into the DeFi security community. And, you know, because that community is pseudonymous and decentralized, you get a mix of black hats and white hats. And so it was a matter of asking, you know, if somebody offered you 10% to walk away from the bug, would you take it? You know, what if we offered you 5%? What if we offered you 25%? And by collecting that data, we settled on 10%, and 10% isn't really the magic number, right? Mm-hmm. That's pretty much the lowest you could start offering before black hats take notice. You know, if you really want the dedicated black hats, the guys who, you know, this is their day job in and out, you know, these are the guys who are, you know, raking in, you know, $10 million hacks every month. You need to offer them a lot more than 10%, right?
Definitely.
Of course, and you also see, you know, big hacking operations like the Venezuelan army or like Lazarus Group out of North Korea. Pretty much no amount of money you could offer those guys will get them to not hack you, because they don't care about the law. They are the law. So it really is a scale, but 10% is pretty much the minimum we found that you need to offer before people start taking notice.
That makes sense. And it's proven to be efficient. So it's cool that you guys are looking into these and really trying to figure out how to maximize these bug bounties. How crucial of a role do you think these bug bounties have played since they came up? I mean, you obviously see all of these exploits and bugs you guys are fixing. Is there a significant amount of submissions you guys get?
Yeah, submission volume is pretty high. I would say that we see every major vulnerability category every week. You know, things like, you know, reentrancy, not handling transfer fee tokens, you know, bad permissioning, uninitialized proxies, pretty much everything we see every week. As far as, you know, the volume of user funds that we save every week, pretty sure it's over 100 million. Sorry, let's take it back. It's probably pushing 100 million. It's probably not over 100 million quite yet. You know, since Immunefi was launched back in December of last year, you know, we've saved well over $1 billion in user funds. Actually, I'm pretty sure our website has the exact number.
Perfect.
At least the number that we are allowed to disclose yet. Because we have a bunch of bugs that we fixed, but we're still working on exactly how to disclose that the bug was found.
Makes sense.
And, you know, every one of those dollars is something that a black hat would have taken had Immunefi not tilted the scales on the economics of vulnerabilities in DeFi.
Definitely. And then I have just another couple of small questions to wrap these things up. And you might not be the perfect person for this, but Does Immunefi plan on adding any of their own maybe funds or spin to bug bounties through potentially like a future token? Or is this something where Immunefi wants to stay strictly to providing the service and just working with the projects and having them put up the bug bounties?
So it's a tricky thing to get right, because right when you launch a DeFi protocol, a DeFi token, right, all of that information is on chain, and the value of bug bounties is precisely that it's not publicly available, right? But that said, we are launching a bug bounty protocol and a bug bounty token soon. So please stay tuned to that. We are very much eating our own dog food here. We are undergoing, I believe, 4 audits before we open source the code and let the community take a look at it. And then once we've done that, then we're going to launch, because we absolutely need to make sure that the protocol is secure.
Yeah, that's great to hear. I'm not sure if you ended up finding that number there, but we can go ahead and wrap this up. I really appreciate you joining us today. And I think it's incredible the gap that Immunefi has bridged on all of DeFi, not just Binance Smart Chain. And I think the Priority One program is incredibly notable and cites the focus that is on security in the Binance Smart Chain, that the ecosystem is willing to rally behind these things and put up a bug bounty to help out projects that may not necessarily have all the funds.
Yeah, and we are working with projects of all sizes to make sure that we get a bug bounty solution that's sized right for them. And there are lots of different ways that projects can fund their bug bounty programs. So even if you're a project that's just starting out that has launched last week, that's not to say that you can't have a bug bounty program. Please get in touch with us, check out our website, and we'll make sure that we tailor the bug bounty program that works for you and that tells your community that you take security seriously.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Duncan. I appreciate you joining us, and I look forward to speaking with you in the future, man. Peace out.